Morning guys, Scott from SE Landscaping on another cold day up the northeast of England. If you're like me, you're probably sick of the snow now. Hopefully the snowfall we've had the couple of days previous is the last of it. And it will hopefully disappear by the end of the week so that we can hit next week. School holidays next week, so we've got a couple of school jobs to get on with, but we really need this snow to disappear like everybody else. Most of the guys I speak to on a daily basis at the moment are the same again. They're stuck in the house, nothing to do because of the weather. Well, nothing to do, but you can always make some plans for your business and be doing things behind the scenes with paperwork that'll help in the long run. But what I want to talk about is a lot of people are asking about private and commercial work and stepping up from commercial, stepping up to commercial, sorry, but they're asking. A lot of people are setting new businesses up in this trade now. Some people skilled, some people not skilled, and trying to get advice on the trade. And what I would say is the outlay for commercial work is huge. It's not something that you can just go into overnight. For instance, when you start in this trade, private work's pretty easy. You can do it with an estate car, or testament to a couple of guys who are on YouTube. Reese at RJC Services used to actually go around with a push bike and a trailer, and he built his business up from there, and he's took the next step now and he's got a van, which is good on him. It just shows the determination he's had to build his business. He should be really proud of that. Another guy in London, Ben Simpson from Simpson's Garden Services, who's also on YouTube. If you watch his videos, he has a bike and he has a trailer, a sealed trailer on the back. And the same again, he builds his business in London, which is difficult for cars. And he builds his business up using that. So in the early days, you don't need to spend money on huge vans and things. If you're doing private work, 90% of the people you've got have a green waste bin. So all you really need is to spend as little as possible. Yes, you've got your initial outlay of a mower, blower, strimmer, etc. But those things in the early days don't need to cost a fortune. It can be just a second-hand bit of kit to get you off the ground, and you can even get by with an estate car. The biggest thing you've got is your petrol mower. With combi tools now, everything can break down to be smaller, to be transported. So whether it's an estate car, coming back to the guys, a push bike and a small trailer, anything like that can be used just to get off the ground. But the main thing I want to talk about is don't think that you need to get into commercial overnight. Every job you're doing should pay a set amount of money what you need, a set rate. And private work pays just as well as commercial. If you're working on hourly rates, or if you're working on a set rate for a job, there shouldn't be the need to think I want to do units and things. That will come over time. The outlay to go to commercial is huge. The first mower I got was a Hustler 36-inch fast track. But in order to get the Hustler to site, I needed a vehicle, a large vehicle. I needed a trailer because on commercial sites you're getting a lot more rubbish off the jobs as well, and obviously you can't leave it on sites like you can with private. So from the offset I needed a Ford Transit van, so that by the end of the week that can be tipped off at the tip. And a lot of guys buy old vans, and unless you're really lucky you regret it, so you need something relatively new. Now the small Hustler, I was cutting really big sites with the 36-inch mower, and it quite quickly became apparent that it wouldn't be profitable. So I was doing a lot of jobs and I was losing out on a couple of jobs, but I was building up the commercial slowly. But I needed a bigger machine. So a friend of mine who is in agricultural repairs, he buys and sells stuff from auctions. I bought a triple off him quite quickly in my business, and that helped me get around the grass cutting areas quicker. And as well as that, I had him on standby if there was any breakages, because if you just go into a local dealer, then it's an issue that your machine could be out of action. But with commercial stuff, it's not like private. With private, if you have a mower, if it goes down, worst case scenario, midsummer, you can say, right, I'll go to B&Q, I'll buy £300 more, and that will get me through the year, because it will, cutting 50 square metre gardens. Commercial basis, if your mower goes down and that has to go into a dealer, what do? You can't go at it with a 21 inch. So with commercial, your outlay is you need 2 machines minimum at the start, or quite quickly in as soon as you get going. And that goes for other things, that goes for strimmers and everything. You need 2 sets of equipment. And if you're buying a second-hand van, you need a plan, you need a backup plan or a hire company close by that you can drop onto, because that commercial customer won't wait for you. Your private customer might wait a week and say, yeah, that's fine, come back next week, I understand you're having problems. Your commercial customer wants them premises to look smart. And if you can't get there the next week because A, one of your machines is down, B, one of your vans is down, then they go elsewhere. So don't think that you need to push into commercial. Potentially, yes, the larger contracts are handy, they're nice to have, and there is good money eventually, but you can make just as much money around the doors. You build up a good reputation in a village, and that there'll be just a knock-on effect. If someone sees what you're doing and theirs doesn't look quite as good, it will just be a knock-on effect. I had a similar thing when I started off in a village, and I was picking up jobs left, right and centre, and it just ballooned from there. And in the end, when I did go into commercial and I started to scale a lot of the private work back, I did keep on a number of customers from my early days who supported me and got my business off the ground, and that was more of a loyalty thing. But a lot of the other customers I did pass on to a guy. Unfortunately, the guy let me down, and he let a lot of the customers down, which wasn't good. But in the early days, he was doing the job like he was supposed to, but he just got lazy and the service he was providing wasn't very good, so that was a bad thing. So if you ever are recommending someone to take work off you or getting someone to help you, just make sure they are trustworthy, reliable, and they'll do a good job. So with the commercial, like I say, you can make decent money, but there's a huge outlay before you get to that decent money. You need to build the sites up. I mean, initially in the early days, as I said, the fast track, I think it was between 2,500 and 3,000 as a rough guide of what I paid. Now we go to buy a machine. The Parkway we bought 2 years ago was £31,000. We've got another Ransom's rotary coming this year, that's £28,000. We've got the standard machines, £10,000. So it's all a huge amount to pull out. But I know that in midsummer, if we've got 3 gangs out and a machine goes, we take that machine to the dealer, and I've got another 3 machines sat waiting to go out on the job. And I've got machines of all different kinds. If the ground's a bit wet early in the season, we use the standards or the 0 turns rather than the heavy ransoms. Same at the autumn. If the ground gets too wet, if you've only got your 1 triple, you've got to go to the client and say, look, my machine's 1.2 ton, it's going to make a mess. We can go and say our machine's 250 kilograms and we can still do your job, which means a lot. It's the same in the winter. Sometimes your grass still grows till December, and sometimes the commercial will get a call to say, can you just come and tidy the grass up? You don't want to scalp it with a cylinder, but you can go and take the top off it with a 0 turn. And by having all this equipment at your disposal that we built up gradually, then we're in a position to do that. So it ticks the boxes for customers. So the video is just basically about just have a look at yourself and your business, especially this time of year where you've probably got a bit more time on your hands because of the weather. And just think, yes, I'm trying to push the commercial, but why? When there's so much private work out there that I could be doing for the same amount of money. And to be fair, you don't have the overheads that you get with the commercial. So you can potentially be earning more in the private sector. So I hope the video helps, guys. Any questions, as usual, bang them in an email above or message below. And a lot of you guys, same again, Facebook Messenger and things like that, we're in regular contact. So it's that's the other platform you can get me on. So I hope it helps, guys. Hope the weather picks up for everybody and we can get out and do what we do best, which is provide a good service and earn money. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.